Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new 6-pan shadow palettes by CATRICE Cosmetics. I actually picked up all three of them and they're very small and compact and they're very, very thin as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some information about these palettes and then we'll get into the tutorials on me using these palettes and then we'll finish off with my thoughts. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about these palettes. I did pay $6.99 per palette on the Ulta website. I also used my coupon of $3.50 off so I can get a little bit of a discount. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the information about these palettes. I have pulled it up on the Ulta website. So the first palette I want to show you guys is the Future Female palette. So this is the inside of the palette and it says here that this palette features 6 harmonized shades with a mix of warm, cool brown, and rose shades in matte, satin, and shimmering finishes. The texture is super silky, buildable, and easy to blend. The palette is extra slim, perfect for on the go. The benefit of this one is vegan, cruelty-free, 6 highly pigmented and buildable shades, matte, satin, and shimmering finishes. That is the Future Female palette. The next one here is the Nostalgic Dreamer eyeshadow palette, and these are the shades here. This features 6 harmonized cool tone shades in satin and shimmering finishes. It has the same texture as the other palette. It is also vegan, cruelty-free, and has 6 highly pigmented and buildable shades. So that there is the Nostalgic Dreamer palette. The next palette is the Soul Searcher palette, and these are the shades here. It says here that this features 6 harmonized cool rose shades with a pop of blue and a shimmering finish. It has the same texture as the other two palettes. It's easily blendable, and the benefits are vegan, cruelty-free, 6 highly pigmented, buildable shades. And that is the Soul Searcher palette. So each palette has 5.2 grams of product, which is not a lot, but you're only paying $6.99 for the palette itself. So 5.2 grams of product isn't too bad. They do claim that they're on-to-go palettes, that you can store them anywhere. And I truly believe that because they're so thin and slender, kind of like a credit card. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorials. You'll also see swatches of the product and the palette next to those swatches. You guys will see the pigmentation of those shades. And after you guys see the tutorials, I'll come back and give you my thoughts. We'll see you in a bit. Bye. my thoughts of these palettes. I don't like to start off on a bad note, but I do want to mention something that kind of stunk to me. I did receive the Nostalgic Dreamer palette and it was kind of a little cracked here. I did want to mention that they're a bit delicate because it did come cracked and the shadow actually spread all over the palette. I did clean it up before I actually did this video, but as you can see, I am missing just a tad bit from that shade right there. But other than that, they all shipped perfectly fine. I did get to use every single one of these palettes. I did use my Wayne Goss brushes to actually apply those shades, and they went on really well onto the eye. Now, I did have a favorite palette out of the three, and it's the Nostalgic Dreamer. This is the one that I have on my eyes right now. I really loved the way this palette went on the eyes. It is absolutely beautiful. It has such beautiful cool tones in the palette that come off on the eye. So creamy, so blendable, so pigmented. I just really loved this palette. When you guys saw me put it on, you guys could tell that it was blending really well. I didn't have any issues with the shadows mixing together and looking muddy. I think that they looked really beautiful. They blended in really well with each other. So this has to be one of my favorites out of the three. Now, my least favorite, I would say, was the Future Female. That's the first one I put on. And I think the only reason is because I felt like some of the shades didn't really come off as well as I thought they would by looking at the palette. The two shades that I did love from this palette were this one here and this one. And I'm happy to point to them, guys, because they do not have names. Not on the back and not on the front, not anywhere. And they didn't come in a box or anything. They came just like this, sealed. So yeah, so I did want to mention that. They don't have any names, but like I said, I did like this shade, and I'll swatch these for you guys again so you guys could see how beautiful the shades are. They're really super pigmented, super beautiful on the eye. There you go, that's what they look like on the back of my hand. That was my least favorite. It doesn't mean I don't like it because I really do like all the palettes, but this one was my least favorite only because I didn't feel like the pigmentation was there on some of the other shadows. As far as the Soul Searcher palette, this one was my second favorite, and not because of that blue. I felt like the blue was really beautiful on the eye, but I didn't feel like it showed up as much as I wanted it to. But all the other shades are simply gorgeous. They give off this really beautiful bronzy tone on the eye. It's just gonna be one of those palettes that's gonna be perfect for the summer. You could even wear it now or even into the fall because of this shade right here. But like I said, it didn't come off as like strong as I wanted it to. As you can see here, it's not as pigmented on the swatch either. But other than that, I think this whole palette is just really beautiful. I just really enjoyed putting this on the eye. So I do want to talk a little bit about the consistency of the shadows. When I swatch these shadows, the consistency is very buttery and creamy. And I really think that that's what allowed those shadows to go on so beautifully. Because they are creamy and buttery, they just kind of blend into that eye very easily. So I felt like that was a huge plus for these palettes, especially for a palette that's $6.99. You don't really see something that cheap have like a creamy and buttery consistency and also have the color payoff as well. So to sum it all up, guys, I really loved these palettes. I really felt like they all performed very well on the eye. I think they're very impressive for the price because they come off on the eye so well. So I hope if you guys were looking at buying these that you got a little bit of information from this review that is helpful to you. I also hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on the next one.